Good afternoon, everybody. Oh God. Alright, so there seems to be an issue with my stream health. Right, sorry about that. As soon as I hit go, I just noticed my stream health was all really bad. Right, so today what I'm going to do, we're going to be doing some pin washing. I also want to have a little look at the base. But also I want to pick up on the bits that I've use the word whatever you want, error, memory lapse, whatever, but basically, excuse me, sorry, I've just been eating. I woke up really hungry, and I've had loads of biscuits, and now I'm drinking biscuits. It's lunch anyway. So how is everybody? So what I mean by error corrections is, maybe error correction is too harsh a word, but I have here 3 bits of additional scenery that I've forgotten to prime. So I want to get those sorted out first. Now this bit I'm actually going to leave till last. This is going to go, actually that's quite handy because now that we've done his skin. Oh, hello for the, thank you for the host, Zion Funkel. Thank you very much, I really appreciate that. Right, so let me just bring that focus in a bit. So how are you? What have you been up to? Do you know what, I'm doing it again, aren't I? I keep doing the wrong camera. I've got this little camera control. There we go, that's better. Yeah, I tried to control this camera and I do the last one. So because what's happened is when I've glued the base, the top half onto the bottom half, I got to be honest here, I did it too far forward, and you can see there's a big gap. It doesn't actually seem to show so much. If I put my finger there, it really does show. So what we thought we'd do is we'd have some mushrooms growing out of his bum, a little bit tacky, but they're not perfect. They're going to need some shaping, so I wonder actually if I might want to leave these till last because they're going to need repriming once I do them anyway. But now, once he's stuck on there like that, I'm going to be popping that on there and this little mushroom. So they're going to need painting at some point. I think with this I'm just going to pin it so that I can stick it onto a cork of some description and paint in much the same way. In fact, actually, I can put it there, couldn't I? So I want to get this. You want to get this caught up first. At this stage, I don't know if I want to take that little knobbly bit off. I think I'll leave it actually because I can always take it off later, but I can't put it back on if I need it. So all I'm simply going to do is just drill a hole in the bottom of it. Oh, do you know what, I've just come... This morning, what funny weather I've had. Finally, someone says to me... Sorry, I've just got a strange random message on Facebook from someone that I know very well. Right, sorry, this is for YouTube, but it's being done on Twitch. What I've been doing is I've been recording live, and as soon as it's finished recording I can hit a button, export, and then it automatically exports it to YouTube, which I think is absolutely fantastic and makes my life so much easier. So piece of metal rod of some description. In this particular case, it comes from a paper clip. Which I'm going to cut at an angle to make it more of a spike. Oh, excuse me, I've got hiccups again. Oh, brilliant. Sorry, someone's just sent me some really good news. So I have a very good friend of mine who's normally rather happy, but he's just had some really happy news. So everyone's happy in the world. So I'll tell you about my... Oh, Pride 1? Pride 1. Is that because of... Is it Pride at the moment? I'm so sorry, I don't keep up to date with stuff like that. Maybe I should. Now I feel awkward because I'm not keeping up to date with things that maybe I should be doing. Oh, I don't know. Right, so we'll pop him into there. That's lovely. So now at least I can deal with him. And I think, thinking about it, I'll deal with the mushrooms later. Would you guys have any objection to me priming those off camera? And then I'll paint those when I paint probably the mushrooms with the... But I tell you what, I really want to paint that mushroom red with white spots. I really do. But somebody who may not make their face known on this particular stream won't let me. And I'm going to do it in grey prime. I'm going to do this this tree stump in grey primer because I can't find my black primer. Oh, there it is. I've got it. I don't really like this black primer as a brush on primer, to be perfectly honest with you. So, couple of drops in there. Whoops, 3 drops in there. You tend to get a little bit more when you have more more in the bottle, because obviously it pushes it down. No, I gotta be honest with you. I think doing a mushroom red with white spots is very fairy tale, isn't it? Very cliched. So what are you thinking of the music today? I've got the same playlist as last time, just continued, but it just seems to completely change the tone and type of music. Can you guys see me doing this? Good morning, Valkyrie, just the person I need. I've got to admit I was doing a little bit of stalling because I remember that I'm doing some pin washing today, but I can't remember exactly what I'm pin washing. So we've done a little bit of stalling by doing some priming, because there's this lovely tree stump and I have a fantastic idea for the wood. I think you will love it. Yeah, but we were doing selective pin washing, weren't we? And I've got one part of this figure I'm not 100% happy with, but I don't know how to fix it, to be honest with you, and that's the belly. I think the belly looks too dark. Now the back, you see where he's darker there, I think that looks absolutely perfect. The way that it's darker than the shadow, the shoulders, but the belly I'm not happy, and I don't really know how to fix that. So but right, now here's my clever thought. Obviously, as you know, once I'm off camera, I have ideas running through my head. So Valkyrie's just said pin washing the shadows, so that's what I should be doing. Right, there we go, that's that primed and ready for when I do the wood. Now, the wood on his body, I thought, shall I just do it my standard wood colour? I think his belly is too dark. I think I shouldn't have washed it to the extent I washed it. Let me show you again. Right. So there is his belly. Now, if you look at, say, his legs, the top of his arms, and it looks like... Right. But I think well, I don't know. But then again, if we're going to be right, I'll pin wash the. I don't know. I've got to be honest with you. I think it looks like someone's taken a big, massive brush and gone boop on it. But let's do the pin washing in the shadows first. Brighten up the skin, yeah. But won't that just make the difference bigger? But I am going to be doing another dry brush anyway, and that's just the upper areas, the areas where the light hits it. So, while I organise some wash, let me tell you about the idea that I had. And the idea that I had was to, there we go. Right, I was going to do all of the wood brown, but then that leads to the problem of all these woody bits are going to be the same colour as this. Obviously I've got to do this bit we found a bit of wood yesterday. Now if an alternative idea I've got is also to rather than do that straight dryad bark or something, we can build the depth up using washes, just multiple layers of wash, but use it more as a paint where we just colour it. That's another idea I had, but I thought with the stick that he's holding, I wouldn't be able to do it today, but to do some bit of research, and we can make it mouldy, perhaps mossy. So if I covered a lot of that with a green moss, it's going to add a little bit of colour to it, appropriate colour, but B, it's going to make the wood different from all the other bits of wood. Does that make sense? So, pin wash in the shadows. So that will be things like this, will it? So we'll go into that. This is a 50-50 mix, by the way. So for example, that. I hope that's what you mean now. And I'm keeping control of this. So what I'm doing is I'm dipping my brush into the wash and I'm just wicking the excess off. Pretty much like when I do my glazes. So when you say in the shadows, it means like this area is I'm going to leave, aren't I? How's that? I think that's added a little bit without adding too much, isn't it? I am doing this on stream, aren't I? You know what I'm like for doing things off stream. You be happy with that? Yeah, this is why I did a 50-50 mix with water. It will, if I dilute it, even if I dilute it too much, it will still give me some extra depth, but I would just end up needing 2 coats. But if I didn't do it, it could well end up that I'm like, oh, I've done too much. I'd rather have to do 2 coats than 1 coat being too much. Some of this I might lose actually by repainting some of the, you know, I've got like the little bits of detail. Might help with the legs as well. The legs are those kind of areas where I think they're nice, but there's just something missing. Okay. I'm pretty much painting with this in some areas. So right underneath, you see I've done some right up where the sort of groin area is. It's kind of almost black. Do you know what? This wash, I'm not happy with this wash. It's really weird. So much of it. Might go over his toenails again. Really get them grimy. I'm pretty sure he doesn't have the best personal hygiene when it comes to thick toenails. Who is Penny? Penny is myself. Right, so I've just put up the comment about if you outline the abs it should make the other colour look lighter, so let's give that a go then. Because this is the comment that I picked up on a while back. If you want something to look brighter, you can either make it brighter, obviously, or you can make everything around it darker, which makes it look brighter. So if we make everything around it darker and it still doesn't work, we've then still got the option of making it lighter. Do you know, I think you might actually be dead right there, look. Right, I don't want to overdo this. running the risk here of getting washed in too many places. It is very subtle, isn't it? Also, bearing in mind, I don't want that colouring book style lines, but I would say that that's just working just right. And here we are, still on track for this potentially being my best figure ever. No worries, killer. Yeah, I do need to sort my nails out today. Although I keep trying to grow them and make them look nice, but the job that I do, bus driving, tends to be a bit of a killer on nails, especially with that damn handbrake that. So let's do some wood. And we'll see if we can make this look more interesting. So all I've got to do now is find the pot of paint that has a habit of running away, and yeah, look, I've managed to keep a pot of paint in one place. Okay. Yeah, there's a difference between figure troll and trolling on stream. I'm not overly keen on trolls. However, I would rather deal with somebody face to face, such as you and me right now. That's absolutely fine. Than these keyboard warriors that hide up. So I'm quite happy to play along with you. I'm not concerned about myself so much, as obviously there will be people watching this later on who may or may not be offended, and they're the people that I'm concerned about the most. So you'll have a hard job offending me, especially as I've just had a wonderful relaxing sleep. Yeah, no, I'm not actually saying you are trolling. I'm just saying that if you were to troll, I'm more about other people than I am myself. That's fine. And also sometimes there's a very fine line between having a bit of banter and being nasty to someone. So we don't mind banter here. Which is why I tend to not go in really hard and go, oh, that might be ever so slightly offensive, let's get him banned. In fact, just today someone was trying to have a bit of a laugh with me, and well, they say they were having a bit of a laugh. Right, got a bit of a problem here. Right, on the back, you can see I've started, that's a completely different colour. Why is that? They're not because it's not dry yet. Right, you see the piece of wood that I've started painting there? If you look at it on the front, there's a little join in the middle. Now I can't work out at this stage if that is meant to be there or not. I don't think that's meant to be there because that's too soft. So this might bugger me up. Go, it pushes away very gently, so that's a clean up issue where I've not cleaned it up properly. Hello Katie, how are you? We've missed you the last few days. We spent all day no we didn't. We did not say we didn't miss you. So that's not going to I'm not really going to be able to paint that today. There we go. That's making a bit more sense now. If you can see beyond the bits of resin that's now showing. So I'm going to give that a bit of a clean up off stream. Actually, I'm gonna cheat. I'll paint it as though it's all sorted out lovely, but obviously we know that's not going to work properly. It's a good job I'm painting over those mushrooms again, isn't it? Or toadstools. So what do you think, Katie? You've not seen this for a few days, and the last time you saw this we were doing right, I don't know how you pronounce this. I think the word is zenithal highlight, as in it's coming from the zenith, but I've heard it also called zenithal. Sexy is one word that I would use, but we've picked up a little bit of wood that's sticking out of them that we hadn't spotted before, and I need to get this little tree stump done. So, and I've over thinned this paint ever so slightly. So how are you, Katie? I can't remember when I last saw you and when your news came in, but I heard good news about your, is it pickup truck? That you've been away without it for quite a while, and now you have it back. So that must be an absolute wonderful feeling, because that sounds like independence being regained. So everyone, so let me tell you why I'm a little slightly grumpy this morning, and why someone decided they were having a bit of a joke. I'm doing this 9 months, but at least you know when you're getting it back, which is almost as good as actually getting it back. So yes, I'm doing my bus run today, and I get to this bus stop. It's raining, not that heavy horrible rain, but that light trickly kind of rain that you get. And I see about 7 or 8 people at the bus stop, but the bus stop is also served by a bus from another different route, different company, and not one person is making a move. Just completely not even looking at me. So I think what's actually running through my head at like 1,000,000 miles an hour is, well, no one looks like they want this stop, but there's an awful lot of people there, given that our service is the more popular service generally from that area, and no one seems to want it, and that's an awful lot of people want that other bus. So I thought, well, alright, fair enough, I'll pull in, won't do any harm. So I pull in, and still no reactions, no one moving towards the bus. In fact, there's 2 schoolboys who were near where I pulled into. They actually walked away from the bus, so I guess they wanted the school bus that's due at some point. But no one said anything, no one did anything. So I thought, okay, fair enough, it hasn't done any harm for me to pull in. So I start to pull out. As I'm about to pull out, there's a van trying to overtake me. In all fairness to him, he had already committed to moving out, so I let him go. And then as I move, now obviously when I say about left and right, it's the opposite in America, because we drive on, as my dad often says, the Americans drive on the right side of the road, the English drive on the wrong side of the road. So I start to pull out, I look in my inside mirror, and I see the passenger standing around with their arms out, go, whoa, what's going on? So I pull in, and then what happens is one of the people who wanted to get on is one of the women that works in the convenience store at the bus station, the best convenience store in the world, and also her hubby's a bus driver. So she's like, well, I said, well, you know, I said, someone give me a clear signal, I'd know. A couple of people had a laugh about it. My attitude is, okay, well, someone screwed up somewhere along the lines, but no one got hurt, no one's missed the bus, so let's all get on with it. So anyway, I do the next 2 trips, and I get absolutely hammered because it's rush hour. And I'm working so hard just to be 15 minutes late, and I eventually pull the bus back on time, and I get to the bus station. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to have a cup of coffee. I've earned it. So I pop into the convenience store to get the coffee, and then she's like shouting across the shop, "Yeah, I was almost late for work today, wasn't I?" Betty smokes. I keep forgetting you guys can have a sneak view at the top. Oh, do you know, I'm painting the wrong bit there, look. I don't even know why I'm doing 2 coats on this. Oh, it doesn't matter now, does it? Because we've done the dry brushing. So I can do the second coat. So what do you think about my moss idea on the log that he's holding? Just to make it'll still be wood. What's that? Do you know what? I follow the rules generally. I don't break rules, I'll bend them. I don't have a problem with bending rules, so long as it works for everybody. But generally, like the kids. But I say this a lot. It's the attitude you give me will generally be the attitude I'll give you back. The kids give me a lot of grief, so when their passes are slightly defaced, then I will follow the rules to the letter, which is give me that pass, I'm confiscating that and handing it into the office. And where I get a well done by the office, oh, and by the way, you've got no way of getting home tonight. But I've had kids that have been like really nice and polite about it. Oh, I'm really sorry, I've lost my pass. Oh, just sit down. You know, I don't care. If you're nice to me about it, then I'm alright to you. And I think that's how you gotta kind of get on with life. Scare off the people that you don't like, or the people that have a negative influence in your life, and the people that have a positive influence in your life, encourage them to come back more. But how we doing? We're terrible for time, aren't we? We're spending an awful long time doing not an awful lot. Right, so because I want to get something done, right, let me just approve this comment from sorry, you know, Katie, that my auto mod thing is overly heavily sensitive. Certain words that I don't bat an eyelid at, that it sits there and goes, oh no, I don't think I can say that. What's this? No enough, we have to listen to this everywhere. You got to go to someone's channel and preach. All right, okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah, word of warning, don't ever argue with Katie. You won't necessarily lose, but you won't win. So right, Killer, let me just tell you something about Katie. Katie is honest, and she says from the heart, and I never have a problem with that, because Katie's been watching this stream for quite a long time, so we've had the advantage of getting to know her. So obviously, if she says something that other people might consider rude, we know her. She's saying from the heart. So, right, guys, just be aware that this is going to be streamed onto YouTube as well. So these comments are going to be like for 10 million people to watch. So, right, let's get on with some colour. Now I'm thinking of a drab green for this loincloth. Something along the lines of I'm actually quite, obviously I'm not going to paint with this, but I'm quite liking the colour of the liquid green stuff as the base coat. Obviously I'm not going to paint with liquid green stuff because that's not what it is, but the colour is quite nice. Don't know if you guys would agree. Yeah, right, okay. Guys, I will do timeouts if I have to. So my, yeah, just consider others. So, does anybody have any ideas for colours? I'm thinking... Right, I'm going to pick four greens at random from the Vallejo range. And that's not even a green, is it? That's more of a brown. In fact, I'm going to chuck this one into the mix. Bearing in mind that I'm going to lighten these up. So, I know you guys can't see this as well as I can, but I'm thinking maybe this one there. This one is a brown violet, which is quite interesting. Right, I am really sorry to be mean and nasty, but I have now hit someone on a timeout, and I will say it's very, very easy for me to use the timeout because I've only got to click one button, and I don't mind hitting it again. Right, so this colour, right. Let me paint it onto right. Put these in order. So I'm just going to put a couple of blobs onto. Right, what I'm doing is I'm picking an awful colour, a nice colour, and a maybe colour. I think you can probably tell which one is going to be the awful colour. Let's finish off with a US dark green. Right, so this is 4 colours that I've just picked. Again, it's quite hard to see. Right, I'll tell you what will be a better idea if I hold them close. This is for the loincloth. No, I hate this camera, or the light, or the setup, or something. I just feel the urge to blame anything else but myself today. Oh, that's better, isn't it? So we've got let me see if I can get these in the right order. Right, 1 at the top, 4 at the bottom. I'm quite liking number 2 for the loincloth. And to be honest with you, the colour that I've picked is a hideous colour. Let's see if I can really play with that white balance. See if that changes things. Oh, that's awful. Oh, that's not too bad, is it? Colour intensity. Okay, so from what I can see, top, base, bottom, first highlight, and the second one for the highlight. Okay, right. Got to hit restore defaults there. Oh! Okay, I've just had a bit of a light disaster. I've just pulled the light and it's come off the table. I am actually laughing inside because it is funny when this happens. But I'm sitting here holding a light. So I do apologise, guys. I'm going to have to readjust this now. This is what my light is held on with, and if I twist it around a bit too much, it does come off. So, and there's absolutely nothing I can do but to fix it now. So if I could title this stream, it'll be like Light Disaster. Right, I'll be back in a sec, guys. Right, that's the bed. You know, the funny thing is, I've been kind of looking at that for the last few days and thinking, yeah, I really need to adjust that, because if I keep pulling it up, pulling it around, it's going to come off any day now. So, well, that's my bit of exercise for the day. There we go. Right, so from what I can see, top, base, bottom. Right, so yes, this is the top one, refractive green. Do you know what? I've got the focus is all. It's all gone to default, isn't it? Right, so refractive green with brown violet as a highlight. Okay, that could work. Top, base, bottom, first highlight, the second one for the highlight. To be honest with you, this one I put in as, oh, that's awful. But sometimes if you put a good colour or a maybe colour next to a bloody awful colour, sometimes you can go, actually it doesn't look too bad, or it prompts you into thinking, well, actually if we go somewhere in between or whatever. So then I don't know why I'm picking one colour over the other when there's only a slight difference. But I'm kind of tending to go more towards this one. But I don't know what to do about highlight. How would I highlight a drab green? So we'll see what that comes out like. It's only going to be a base coat, so if it doesn't turn out as well as we hoped, then we can change it. So I've gone probably way too much now, but it's 3 coats, sorry, 1 drop paint, 3 drops water. Let's see, well, do you know what, I think that's probably about right. So, and at least then, even though I've not done too much, oh, that's just right. Do you know what, I'm actually quite liking that. Right, what do we think? It's sort of a leafy colour, but not too leafy. It's a really thin coat. Ran out of music then.
sure if that was a belt on there. Yeah, that's really working for me. Oh, a little bit of a tricky bit there where the definition between the cloth and the mushroom isn't really that well defined. Right, I'm going to switch to a smaller brush. Oh, okay then, I've just switched from a 0 to a 0. Oh, good. Right, I was considering doing that to both people. I see joining in as bad as starting, and I couldn't really see where it started. I just saw what was happening, but don't worry about it, Katie. He now has a choice, or she. You can't always tell from a nickname. I do believe it's possible for two people who dislike each other to coexist. And he's not actually been stopped from watching the channel. So I'm only doing the first layer on this, mainly because I'm looking at the time. And the main reason I'm doing this is because what we're actually doing yesterday and today, what's it, Thursday today, we seem to have made so much progress. Obviously Monday we did the base coats, and that's going to give us some progress. And then Tuesday we did mainly shades. So that it actually really did progress very quickly. And then we did dry brushing yesterday, which just added subtleness. And the reason I need to get this put on today is because it's not progressing as much, and I want to have something to show for as much as I can every day. Otherwise you run the risk of losing interest. You know, if you're spending a long time doing stuff that's too subtle, you go like, well, it's not really happening now, and your mind is wanting to give up. Oh, fantastic! I'd like to see some of those results. Be prepared for some terrible results to start with, but that's like it. Oh no, I forgot. You told me you were You were Picasso from the age of 3 months, weren't you? Was that what you said, Katie? You know I'm joking when I say that, don't you? Pulling your leg, as we would say here. You know, I really like that. I think that's pretty good. I mean, obviously it'll look better on it with a second coat, as does all base paints. So why am I scaring you, Katie? Right, I don't think these bits are going to show, but I'm going to paint them anyway, because this is where the mushrooms are going to go. The mushrooms that are grown out of his bum, because he obviously doesn't wipe properly, does he? That, I'm really happy with that. Would you guys agree? And it's adding more colour. Yeah, there's I mean, obviously, like the dry brushing I was happy with yesterday, because I mean, look at the detail it's added. But it's today, if I hadn't put this on, you know, and I take it, see what sorry, let me rephrase it. This is what I actually mean, right? If I took a picture, you know, right at the start of what this looks like just with the primer, then I take a picture when we finished on Monday, the two pictures look different, and then after Tuesday take another picture, that looked different, and then the picture that I took yesterday of it, even though it's hard work dry brushing, it looks different from Tuesday. But if I took a picture of this without doing the cloth, it doesn't look a lot different from yesterday, and this is why I need to put this on, and I'm doing it for me, not for anyone else, so that I can see some progression. Oh, I knew I missed a bit out, look. You know, and if you have to spend an hour on a toenail, then that's the way it is. But wherever possible, that now looks different than it looked yesterday. I hope so, love me. Just a lot of people say, well, the way I see that statement, Katie, you going in, obviously I don't know you as well as you know you, but if someone says that to me, then I would probably end up doing the opposite, and also I'd be in to prove them wrong. Yeah, I can do this, or I'm going to be really light, and then what would end up happening is I would go complete reverse, that I would be so light-handed that it doesn't do much, and then you come in a little bit heavier next time, and then a bit heavier, but also Love Minis just said it's your art and do not let others tell you what to do, which actually is probably better advice. I can't get the words out today. It's better advice than I could ever give you. In fact, I often preach the good gospel of, when people say to me, oh, is this any good? My response is usually, what do you think? Do you like it? And if they say no, I don't like it, then I'll say, well, it's not good then, because it's you that decides if it's good or not. And I know I ask you guys a lot, but I always know that I don't have to go with what you say. Valkyrie's just given me some excellent advice on pin washing the shadows, but to be honest with you, if I was happy with the result before I pin washed it, sodder, you know, I'm not doing it, and no one can make me. No. Right, so talking of asking people for advice and not necessarily taking it, the wood shin, I'm going to call them wood shin pads. Would you personally paint those, or would you just keep doing washes until they come out darker? Or in other words, would that wood come from the same sources as these bits? Do you think maybe, as these appear to be growing out of him, have these grown out of him? In which case, because one idea I had is apply a brown wash, and then when that's dry, we'll apply another brown wash, but not quite so far down, and then we'll apply another brown wash about halfway up, and then another one about a quarter of the way up, so that it's gradually getting darker. And then these are all Vallejo model colours. That's obviously, that's not too different. That's not a colour change paint. That's separated. But we the skin colour is the colour they're oh, sorry, they're actually not. These are the browns that we've used. These are the Reaper series, and it's all combinations of woodland brown with a brown wash, and then a dry brush mixed in with the Tusk Ivory. Oh, I'll tell you what else I want to do. I passed a beautiful bit of log for someone's front garden, and it made me think. I think I should do the inside of that log and the inside there, sort of more this colour, and then we'll apply a wash. Because you know how you've got that nice this kind of colour wood, but the bark of it is very dark, so I'd like to sort of try and replicate that, but bearing in mind that that is going to be filthy, so it probably needs quite a lot of washing. Does that sound good? So I've got myself quite a bit of homework to do. I think I need to go into a greengrocer's and take some photos of mushrooms, so that I can try and look at the colours that I want to do these, or toadstools. And I think I'll go a very dark. Yeah, it's too much detail. No, I won't say this too much, but this is one of those models. I looked at it and I went, that's a very advanced model for me, but it's not so advanced I can't give it a go. And then sorry, I just got right. Yeah, and then once I start to do the skin tones, I'm then starting to think, well, hang on, what I'm preaching to the newbies is that if you take things section by section, they're actually easy. When I was doing this cloth, I wasn't even thinking about the wood or his face or the mushrooms. I was only focusing on the cloth. Well, that reminds me, I've got to do his mouth. I've got to do that. God knows how I'm going to do that tongue. I might have to get a 3-bristle brush, and then obviously you've got some teeth there. But that's going to look beautiful, I think, if I can do that properly. And also, didn't we say about varnishing the skin so that we get rid of that chalkiness? Dry brushing does bring in chalkiness, but we want to get that finished. Valkyrie, would you be happy with those? I'm calling it done, but would you be happy with that pin washing? Especially down there, I do like the sides. And I love that back, because you see where his back is arched, so you've got a lot of shadow going on there. Whereas I'd said I wasn't so happy with the belly, the back was shaded about as much, but the back works because, as you see, you got this is upright, this is 0 degrees, so you see that you've got so much shadow going on there because of the arched back and the way that these muscles from the side of his back kind of fold in. So the base of his spine is almost is very is it concave where it goes in. And I'm sorry, I don't sing my praises very often. I'm my biggest critic, but I really like that back. I know that's a bit of a daft thing to say. So, Greengrocer's Photos of Mushrooms. I have not got a clue how to do moss, but what I'm thinking of is stippling on some moss colour with a sponge. So obviously with a sponge you won't get complete covered detail, but if you get not complete covered detail on a highly detailed log, I think that could look quite good. But I wonder if it might be better to stipple it on with something with a bit of texture rather than flat, because moss in itself is is textured. But it might just be a case of stipple on neat paint. I don't know, this is all things I've got to think about. I really do want to get on with this base at some point as well. This is obviously going to be textured partly, but not fully. I'd like to get that onto there at some point. Now, question for you, please help. It's 1 o'clock. When I come to do this wood, do I highlight it in the normal way and then put moss over? I suppose that's a daft question, wasn't it? So I'll highlight that in the normal manner, and then I'll stipple on the moss over the top. I think that's going to look superb. And saying that, we might have to then change the colour of the loincloth. Right, I'm waffling now. It's 1 o'clock. Not my best stream, but I think when you're having painting sessions, you get good sessions and you get not so good sessions. The main thing really is that so long as you guys don't go away thinking, oh, that was an hour of my life I'll never get back, and hopefully I haven't just come up with an idea for one of my YouTube trolls. I'm feeling very privileged actually. I'm getting just the right dislike, just the right amount of dislikes on YouTube. 1, maybe 2 on each video. And they're all coming from the same person, by looking at the analytics, and I think it's hilarious myself. If I was getting 10 or 15 dislikes per video, then that would make me go, yeah, it's going to be brilliant. But yeah, 10-15 likes is enough to make me think, okay, I'm doing something wrong, or I could improve. Let's look at ways of improving. Right, okie, so I can only see one person streaming at the moment on my followed list, and that is Atomic Mum, who I personally think we should raid, because I like Atomic Mum, and we've not raided her for a long time. So, let me change my view to the front view. No, that's the wrong one, sorry. Why am I upside down? There we go, and the right way round now. So, thank you very much for watching, everybody. Thank you for the input. Yeah, this is what I mean, Love Minis. You've only seen 1 dislike, because that's all I get. I did a live show last night, which I think went very well, and we got 1 dislike before the end of the live show, which I thought is amusing. But you get people like that. Maybe it's... but it's like there's a lady on Facebook, on one of the groups I'm in. She's upset because of something that's happened with one of her magazines. So she, you know, when you go like and love on Facebook posts, she puts angry face on everyone's post, because she is feeling angry, not at that post, but because she's feeling angry at the situation. And it's like, it's not really fair to be angry at someone's post because you're angry at something else. Anyway, I will leave you with one thought, and I'll leave you with yesterday's joke recycled because I thought it was brilliant. So the thought is, be nice, and then sometimes people who aren't nice are nice back to you. And then the joke is, two guys, sorry love minis, you heard this last night, but it's one, I love it. Two men are driving down the road through the countryside, and one of them looks out the window at a field, and he says, look, a flock of cows. And so I'm just trying to get that in. There we go. Right. So he says, yeah, look, there's a flock of cows. And the other guy says, herd of cows. And the first guy says, well, of course I've heard of cows. Look, there's a flock of them over there. So take care, guys. I'm going to hit the raid button. The raid button has been hit. We're going to be watching Atomic Mum next. She's a little bit like me in that you don't know what she's going to be doing next. She could be painting, she could be playing a game, she could be knitting, she could be making cushions, I don't know. So take care, guys. Hopefully I'll see you all tomorrow. Oh, she's playing a game. Right, take care, guys. Love you, miss you already.